the fact that all of the performers appear to be able to give their personal best, if not in scores, at least a very good reflection of what they're capable of, and that's something that we so hope for every athlete under the pressure of performance, and what we hope now for these ice dancers.
And it's one of the special things about the Grand Prix final is junior and senior, is you're seeing the very best of the Grand Prix series, of which is hundreds of skaters.
Literally.
At least of the juniors. And so when you see the best, you just begin to appreciate the quality of what you're looking at and how quickly the event passes. Just six skaters, right? So it's really exciting. Great skating so far.
And I dare say we often reference as we watch the juniors in the context of a final, those not like lucky, but the chosen six that get to represent their nation at the Junior Grand Prix final, what an opportunity it is for them to train alongside the seniors this week. I dare say if any of the seniors have been watching the junior event, they'd be quite impressed by what they've seen and maybe a little relieved that some of them aren't against them.
Well, it's interesting this year we had guest commentators join us on the Junior Grand Prix, and how impressed that they were and engaged. They remember Jason Brown, so engaged, right? So it's pretty exciting when the juniors always are watching the seniors, but are the seniors watching the juniors? They weren't, but they are now, or they're starting to now, because they're going, whoa, you better get going.
And interesting, because as we reference back to the Junior Grand Prix series, and we were so fortunate to hear from some of the world's best. We spoke to Madison Chalk and Evan Bates, the world ice dance champions, and Evan said that he was tuning into all of the Junior Grand Prix events to see what was happening. Well, he might be in the hotel right now because they will compete, obviously, as the father and his daughter and son, the Peal family, are seen getting ready in what I presume is a tradition before they take to the ice backstage. And if you're joining us for the first of your viewing today, you'll see that there's a different proceedings. The skaters are welcomed and introduced to the arena from backstage. And that's helping to create more excitement in the arena as we eagerly anticipate.
And I think for the athletes.
Yes, hopefully so.
You can see smiles on their faces backstage as we have a new way of introducing the athletes. Here they come. From the United States, the first team out, Eliana and Ethan Peal. And from Germany, 18-year-old Darya Grimm and 18-year-old Michail Savitskiy.
Representing United States of America.
And from the United States, 20-year-old Katarina Wolfkostin and 21-year-old Dimitry Tsarevski. Now, Mark, we did a little piece on the basics of skating, the difference between pair skating and ice dancing. Now, we've seen the pair skaters in the short program. Explain to those audience, most of the audience knows the difference, but some are new viewers. What's the difference? How can they visibly see this?
So the similarities are that you have two in the partnership, a male and a female. The pair skaters who we've seen already will be performing side-by-side jumping passes. They are more similar in length to the single skaters discipline, but when they couple up, their lifts are more athletic, we dare say. They are more extreme insofar as the lifts will be overhead. The ice dancers do not do the side-by-side jumping passes. They are removed from the single skating, but their focus is more heavily upon the artistry, the storytelling, the composition and the intricacy of their footwork. And so it is quite often a different type of character that is drawn to this discipline, to that of the pairs discipline.
And what they do on the ice needs to be done with the rhythm of the music, connected to the music, much more to a higher degree than perhaps the other disciplines.
Articulate it much better than I did.
I was only lucky because I realized you didn't say it, so I could say it.
You're so right. The musicality for the ice dancers reigns supreme. And as we look at Darya Grimm and Michail Savitskiy, this team have a new music, a new rhythm dance for this final. And for the ice dancers, they will be endeavoring to make every single step of their blade and every single arm and head movement totally in time with the music. And we see Darya and Michail working through now the passo doble steps. The passo doble, formerly known as a compulsory dance or pattern dance, was created almost 100 years ago, and now in its incarnation within the rhythm dance for the juniors this season, we'll see two versions of that. One where the women skates the women's steps, and then the partners will flip-flop their position.
Which is really telling in a way, because, you know, as, let's say, a male dancer, you're used to your position. I have to do what? I have to do the opposite? It's difficult.
And interestingly, we saw Sean Ritzstadt, the head of the ISU, Ice Dance Technical Committee, who is here surveying the scene and is already discussing about what is to come for the ice dance skaters in subsequent seasons. And it's really great to hear the awareness of what they're trying to do to push the sport forward.
What I love about Sean is he's articulate and he's clear, he's visionary, he's open-minded. And that is so important for the growth of anything. It doesn't matter what sport it is. It could be football, it could be hockey, whatever. For the people that are leading the sport into the next generation, what is their vision? Today may be okay, but will tomorrow be? No, you have to start thinking about tomorrow now. And I see Sean is very open-minded that way. I'm not saying that anything will happen revolutionarily, who knows, but I love the open discussion and the concepts.
And on that, you know, I've just been talking about the Paso Doble, and we're talking about ice dance and its future. And the Paso Doble is what was a former part of ice dance competition, which has subsequently been removed in its own form.
Compulsory, yeah.
And I know that there are many ice dancers, perhaps on occasion myself included, that are a little sad to consider that these dances that are almost 100 years old aren't being competed, and there's a fear about, oh, well, are we going to lose that aspect? Are we going to lose that recreational aspect that, you know, adult skaters and the adult skating community can continue to perform, and they can connect with the skaters they see on TV. But that said, as we see Olivia Flores, who's in 3rd place in the pair short program, and her friends and family, I know that the concept behind the criteria for the ice dancers with this season and subsequent seasons is always with a view to promote the sport, and always with a view to try to entice as much viewership and participation for future generations as possible.
Well, I mean, my thought is nothing gets better without change.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make the wrong change, but you can't, otherwise you're going to stay the same. So, I mean, you look at the removable figures. Hey, there's a dancer right there.
Yeah, that's an absolute born dancer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But now she's a little shy. But anyways, the removable figures, everybody thought that was sort of the death of skating, you know. So change is always a fear in everyone's life, doesn't matter what it is. But it's also a new possible beginning. So we'll see.
And I know when people reference figures for the singles skaters, I know that so many people would say, oh, it's sacrilege, it's going to ruin the quality of edge control. And I hear that, and I understand that, you know, there are lots of passionate people in our sport, and they're passionate about the way that it was. And I understand that this can be frustration when there's change, but I think we're conscious that anybody that's at the helm of making the change has a vested interest in the longevity and success of our sport. So any decisions made are really just to help everybody. As we see Pikachu being celebrated. Who knows? I don't think we've seen a Pikachu or Pokemon ice dance rhythm dance
theme yet.
No, I'm not sure how I feel about that.
You aren't dancing on ice. I mean, why don't you go with that?
It's not going to be for me either.
Here we go. Our first team on the ice, representing the United States of America, 17-year-old Eliana and 20-year-old Ethan Peal.
And this team came out to France early. They've been training in Lyon, climatizing to the time zone to make sure they are in the prime position to deliver their very best skates as they skate to boogie shoes and dance to the music for their rhythm dance.
Shoes.
a motto so that the dancer just won't hide. You might like to hear my organ. I said right, right now.
Eliana and Ethan Peal open the junior rhythm dance. Just to confirm, the required characteristics for this year's rhythm dance are to be recognizable social dance styles from the 1950s, 1960s, and 1970s. As we see other members of Team USA cheering them on, and Eliana and Ethan Ted are so wonderful at performing, exploiting all of her dance education off the ice. I feel like that didn't maybe have as much flow and glide and comfort as we've perhaps seen from them.
Totally. You could see the expression on their face and their body language at the very, very end there. There were some uncomfortable places perhaps for themselves.
Just little sticky bits. I thought through the midline step sequence, even the twizzle for Ethan, it was just sticky and checked rotation. So just, you know, as I said, they've been out in Leon. There's their dad.
Yeah.
Now, his pride overrides any disappointment with it being less than optimal skate. But they put so much into this. I know we've just been chatting to the fact that their mum is here, who's not a great traveler. Cody Aid, former American successful coach, has come with their mum just to help her to get here to support them because she doesn't like traveling. There's so much for this team riding upon success or perceived success. But what, as we look through the twizzles, is great to know is that their dad, who's
got
the coach,
close there,
oh my gosh.
right in that portion there.
Oh, wow. And now that was interesting because that jeopardized the feature of the arms that they're having to have them fully extended and extended in front versus if they clipped, then that would have been a deduction as well. So they were working hard throughout. And maybe that's what you sense from them. They just had to work really hard.
Yeah, it wasn't just, you know, sometimes in a magical performance, it all just happens perfectly. And this was a bit of a struggle, but they kept it together. And they're so performance, you know, driven.
Yes.
They want to enjoy it. And perhaps they didn't enjoy it as much.
And, you know, they're such great representatives of Team USA. They're so online. They're such great forces of the...
There she is. Now our person on
There's Eliana, yeah.
We see it. She's awesome.
They vlog, they share their experiences. It's great to see the behind the scenes of what creates a successful junior ice dance.
Well, 65.31 is their season's best, and this is quite short of that. It's a 60.19. They won't be happy, perhaps, with the skate or the score. This is a good team. Struggled maybe a little bit in this rhythm dance. They have the free dance yet to come, and that is a beautiful performance, as we'll see. And up next, the next team, representing Germany, Darya Grimm and Michail Savitskiy, both 18 years old.
And now a couple of months out since we last saw them on the Junior Grand Prix, now with a new rhythm dance. They've had some experience at senior events in the Challenger Series, and now skating to reach out. I'll be there.
Looking to beat their season's best, 61.97. Well, Mark, I don't know about you, but I saw a new energy, new fuel.
And I think that man on screen, Matteo Zanni, is largely responsible for some of that for Darya Grimm and Michail Savitskiy representing Germany. Also the music choice, I Will Survive. Lyrics, Now I'm Back, I Grew Strong. This team had some challenges early part of the season, coaching change, and this new music, a whole lease of new life seems to have been bred into this couple.
And it seemed to resonate with them here on ice, under pressure. And you could see that joy, even in that little hug there. That was, you know, a victory, a personal victory, perhaps.
Yeah, and I think this team coming into this event, they've got the experience. They've been competing on the Junior Grand Prix final twice before already. They were probably the highest ranked team from Junior Worlds last year, but the early part of this season was, for various different reasons, just challenging. Everything about the energy as they greet Matteo off the ice suggests, let's make this positive. You can read and sense the energy from ringside before, during, and after that they're back.
I saw a new energy in Darya just off the beginning, just a joy in her movement, and that's a typical.
And that actually is a great example of the Group C. This year, the teams must choose a different Group C feature from the rhythm dance to the free dance, and they've got one of the absolute best difficult entries into that element as we see them working through the Paso Doble. And now this is mid-key point there, but whilst we didn't get to see the feat, you wouldn't have known that they would have been fixated on what was happening down below as you saw her exude that performance value that continues. And how, wonderful camera shot.
Yeah, great shot.
And here, change of music, sustaining the outside spread eagle in the spiral. Oh, these slow-mos are just a brilliant example of ice dancing at its best, where you're just performing from start to finish.
Wow, and that is like 1,000 pounds off your shoulders. A new beginning, and seen right there, and the pictures of their joy. And they have a 61.97 season's best, and this should beat that with that performance, and a new lease on life, perhaps. Let's take a look. Rhythm dance scores for Darya and Michail. There it is, 64.84. That's the season's best, and Matteo looking pretty happy with that score. As they take over the lead early on.
They're currently in the first place.
Our next team also represents the United States of America. 20-year-old Katarina Wolfkostin and 21-year-old Dimitry Tsarevski.
And this team find themselves coming into the Junior Grand Prix in the first group, but I think potentially their strength and their speed could contend for the title here in Grenoble. Katarina, Wolfkostin and Dimitry Tsarevski share a hug after the rhythm dance. I mean, I stand by what I said insofar as this team's strength and speed and power has the potential to vie for the podium, if not the title, but that skate, perhaps a little bit like Eliana and Ethan Peal from the United States of America, also just a little bit tight. This team, though, although Katarina in particular has huge amounts of experience, still so new. So the potential, as their coach Charlie White has said, they have almost a limitless potential. The ceiling is high for this couple, but you can't account for the time together. We've just seen Darya and Michail, who have had 5 or 6 seasons together.
And you know, on this day, at this moment, this was a little out of sync. There was about 3 or 4 indications or areas that they were just out of sync, off time a little bit, and that might be reflected in the score. We'll see. It's still great team, tough skate.
And look back, and you can see even in the slow-mo the amount of speed that they have and the ability for Katarina to find the judges for the presentation component at every point. And here the twizzles, arms above the head is a feature, the leg extension, that a feature for level. And in the rhythm dance, just 1 step at most in between the first and the second twizzle here. A bit like the Peals. Got close, and the couples cannot touch in this step sequence. Did well to avoid that as we see the difficult entry into the rotational lift. And impressive as we see Dimitry maintain the speed and ice coverage through the difficult transitional entry into the split feature.
And you could see just at the end, it wasn't an overjoy. You know, they could feel the struggle a little bit. But hey, listen, these are excellent athletes. There's just no question. Was this their best performance? Maybe not. They have a 69.28 season's best. Let's take a look at the score here in the Junior Grand Prix final rhythm dance. And it's a 65.57, so they're about 4 points off their season's best. Strong team. Not their best day, but the free dance to come.
65.57, which they bring them currently in first place.
So Dimitry didn't want to look at the scores for a moment there.
Now let's introduce our skaters in warm-up group 2 of the junior ice dance rhythm dance.
Well, our first team in group number 2 from France, Celina, Fradji, and Jean-Hans Fourneaux.
So excited to see another pair of French skaters in front of the home crowd as we look now to Ukrainian representatives Iryna, Pidgaina, and Artem, Koval.
Representing Italy.
And from Italy, Noemi Maria Tali and Noah da Fonera.
Skaters, you can start your warm-up now.
So 3 performances in the Junior Rhythm Dance down, 3 to go, and these the highest ranked teams from the Junior Grand Prix series, which concluded almost 2 months ago. So what has been done and what has been achieved by the next group of 6 skaters on the ice to differentiate one another. We have Celina, Fradji, and Jean-Hans Fourneaux, who were just off the podium at the Junior World Championships. They come in as contenders. And then we've got the likes of Pidgaina and Artem, Koval, the Ukrainians who were as low as 15th at Junior Worlds. They've made strides forwards this year.
It's interesting, the Junior Grand Prix final and the Senior Grand Prix final, sort of the close of the first half of the season.
Yes.
As many of these skaters are entering now their national championships, which will be followed by the ISU championships, you know, the 4 continents, the Europeans, the Junior Worlds, and the Senior World Championships. So this is sort of the conclusion of the first half of the season, Christmas break, and then they move forward.
And then for some, you could argue that the break, so that there may be teams that did not make that coveted top 6 spots for the final that can exploit the extra training time.
Exactly.
There's something to be said for there's something to be said for competing and the opportunity it presents for feedback from the judges, and here being alongside the seniors, there's something equally to be said for more training time to make changes at the home respective training ring.
Yeah, and we'll see that at the Junior World Championships a little bit later this season when they all get together again, and how will these teams stack up? I mean, it's not guaranteed they're going to be the top 6 in the Junior Worlds, right?
No, and actually, you know, we've seen particularly actually in the senior ranks this season some unexpected mistakes being made, and as the ice dancers continue to push themselves to increased athleticism, difficulty and physicality, there is more susceptibility to mistakes being made, and we've even actually seen that in this first group.
We talked about that a little earlier, about how difficult the ice dance is. It doesn't look as difficult because you don't see the big throws and the jumps and spins, so for the audience, but this is so difficult. Just a little bobble, and we've seen some here today, just a little bobble is a huge problem, right, in ice dance, but this is so difficult now.
And I think also we were very impressed with the women's short program here, because the women managed to contain any nerves that they I'm sure had in still delivering their jump content. For the ice dancers, when nerves can invade their, you know, when you start to get a little bit more anxious, you start to get more nervous, the tendency is to rise up on your knees, and that has such a big implication on the run of the blade and the glide, and so then that has technical mistakes and also skating skills impact. I look now at Noemi, Maria, Tali and Noah Lafornaro, the leaders coming in on the Grand Prix standings, and they immediately are showcasing a softer knee action that suggests that they will have the best skating skills of the event. Remains to be seen if they can showcase that under the pressure of the performance, but you can see actually here uniformity in their technique and the way that their blade leaves the ice, and also a softness of knee that maybe evaded some of the earlier performances.
Yeah, and you know, skating with 2 people in a solo, okay, you have only yourself to deal with, but if one person's a little bit off, it's a little, you know, awkward, or you have to carry that forward throughout the performance. Not easy. And
also, as we see the audience participate, we have to factor into ice dance the discussion we haven't mentioned yet about time. And as we look to tomorrow's performance in the senior event in the rhythm dance, we were watching earlier today the practice of the top 3 teams in the senior category, and for 2 of the top 3, they've been training together as an ice dance team for over 11 years. The time in ice dance is so important in showcasing progression, and you cannot become a world ice dance champion within a season. It's just not possible. You have to cement the time together.
So many years.
And that's not, you know, you could put, you know, we've just seen the retirement of the Olympic champions, Gabriela Papadakis and Guillaume Cizeron. They announced their retirement yesterday. You could take either one of those halves of that team, who are epic in their own individual right. You could pair them with somebody else who's equally brilliant, but it won't mean that they're going to become world champions within a year. They need time. Ice dance partnerships take.
Any great partnership in sport or in life takes time. We'll see how group number 2 settles into the ice and into their knees.
Yes, and interesting now as we see still shots of the audience here. Just we're seeing now the skaters individually just trying to press into the edges, facilitate and ensure that the blade is running. Flow and glide is so crucial to the success of the ice dancers.
Intense, even the audience. Here we go. Our first team.
Please welcome Celina, Fradji, Fourneaux.
Celina, Fradji and Jean-Hans Fourneaux.
And this is a team that I've said it's quite surreal to have such a major event close to home. They often will be found in the University Library in Grenoble, but now participating in another Junior Grand Prix final.
In the Navy and YMCA.
Put your mind at ease. Come on, fall and let me stand. Young man, there's no need to feel down. I said, young man, pick yourself off the ground. I said, young man, 'cause you're in a new town. There's no need to be unhappy. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. They have everything from your mental joy. You can hang out with all the boys. YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. Young man, there's no need to feel down. Young man, pick yourself off the ground. YMCA.
Lukaku Long, the French pair skater, cheers on his compatriot Celina Fradji and Jean-Han Fourneaux, a team that lives just 30 minutes away from this venue. And I think there was a little bit of a split in the comfort between the team. Both of these skaters, such quality athletes, and this team, unlike some of the others that we have seen already in the competition, are totally synonymous in their technique and in their partnership. But I think energetically, Jean-Han was feeling it a little bit more than Celina on this occasion with the pressure of performing so close to home.
Yeah, difficult to explain what that might feel like unless you're in that situation. And it's hard for fans to, we talk about it a lot and people say, well, I don't know, what does that mean? Just, you know, get in front of a bunch of people
Yeah.
by yourself on the ice and you'll feel it.
And Jean-Han is such a great performer. I actually think sometimes he's a more vivacious performer than Celina, but on this occasion, it's just a little tight understanding. I'm not saying they're wonderful. I love so much about this team, and look at the match. This is the match that they have, the leg extension, the fundamental technique that they have is well trained. The way that they're extending their free legs on the chassis within the passo doble. And even the hold. Look at the Killian hold that they've got here. The
That's well matched.
Yeah, coaches are on point too. Oh, this was the clanger. I thought the catch of the rotation lift. I wonder, I was a wee bit worried that it was going to be an overextended lift. It looked like it took perhaps a little longer. Doesn't look like it's going in as an extension, so that's good.
A little awkward coming down, but it didn't result in an extension.
And there was a rocker in the midline step sequence. I think it was a right forward outside rocker that just looked like it was well, you know what it was, Ted? It was an example of an extremely well-trained team that banked on their good quality technique and their excellent training to survive what might have been a little bit of nerves.
There you go. Well said.
We have been effusive in our praise for Karine Aribert.
Yeah, absolutely. I've watched her for so many years on the Junior Grand Prix when she started way back, and quality of work that she's developing on a consistent basis year to year, it's amazing. Let's take a look at the rhythm dance score, 63.24. That is the third in the rhythm dance. And they're about 3 points short of their season's best of 66.94 as we take a look at the top 4 teams. Two to come.
Brings them in the third place.
Our next team represents Ukraine. 16-year-old Iryna Pidgaina and 20-year-old Artem Koval.
And Iryna and Artem, unlike others, have chosen to perform and compete a lot since the Junior Grand Prix to amass more experience for this, their participation in the Junior Grand Prix final.
1, 2, 3, 4. Get up, get on up, get up, get on up, stay on the scene, get on up like a sex machine, get on up, get up, get on up. get on up, get up, get on up, taste, get on up, Vienna, get on up, taste, get on up, Vienna, get on up. Like a sex machine, get on up, never have the feeling, get on up, sure as you're born, get on up, get it together, right on, shake your money maker, 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 get up, get on up, get up, get on up. I feel good. I knew that I wouldn't. I feel good. I knew that I wouldn't. So good, so good. I got you. Wow. When I hold you in my arms, I know that I can't do no wrong. And when I hold you in my arms, my love won't do you no harm. And I feel nice. That sugar is mine. I feel so nice, so nice. I got you. When I hold you in my arms, I know that I can't do no wrong. And when I hold you in my arms, my love can't do me no harm. And I feel nice, the sugar is mine. So good, so good. Hey!
A nod of approval from Artem Koval alongside his partner Iryna Pidgaina. And perhaps this team benefiting from some of the additional competitive experience that they have pushed themselves through since the Junior Grand Prix, because they appear more comfortable than the others that we've seen performing in this event thus far.
Yeah, that was a little bit more, at least for themselves, under control.
What's interesting is from a composition perspective, I didn't think it was as musical or as well phrased perhaps as that we've seen from the others. But the Paso Doble, I thought, had the greatest speed, the greatest ice coverage from a skating skills perspective, then arguably higher. And they show gratitude to their longtime coach, Galina Chirilova, who they express such thanks to. They have gone through so much, relocating with their coach from their home in Ukraine, in Odessa. And they're staying true to their coach that has supported them to this stage in their career as they find their new training base in Vienna. And here, a chance to see some of the earlier parts. Wow, look at that. Artem found the red light on that camera.
He knew it.
He did. When he's finding all sorts of entertainment there as well. You know what? You do whatever you can. Push those judges to give you a higher presentation score. If it means grabbing your derriere, then do what you got to do.
Well, he was pretty comfortable in the performance. Like he felt, you know, and his skating skills were solid enough to be able to perform at that high level.
This the midline step sequence now, just a level 1 and a level 2. So the levels, tech score is lower than that which we have seen from others, and less key points achieved within the Paso Doble. So I thought skating skills were stronger on the Paso Doble, but the key points, the 4 key points, not quite as powerful on the tech scores that which we saw from the current leaders, Katarina Wolfkostin and Dimitry Tsarevski.
Yeah, 67.83 is their season's best, and I think they're going to fall short of that, perhaps by quite a bit.
Actually, in defense of the, not defense, I shouldn't say defense, but the judges have gone with their skating skills above their composition and presentation, which is adverse to that which we've seen from others.
Anxiously waiting to see how close to that 67.83 they earned earlier this season, and it's a 62.36. Not of approval.
Artem.
And that'll put him currently into 4th place.
62 points, 36, and they are currently in the 4th place.
Our final team in the junior rhythm dance, representing Italy, 19-year-old Noemi Maria Tali, 20-year-old Noah Lafonera.
A team unbeaten on the Junior Grand Prix and unbeaten again in 2 further internationals since that. They come in as the highest ranked team. Can they take the Junior Grand Prix title?
Morning sun, I feel you touch me in the pouring rain, and the moment that you wander far from me, I wanna feel you in my arms again, and you come to me on a summer breeze, keep me warm in your love, and you softly leave, and it's me you need to share.
Well, Mark, a little earlier this week, I had a conversation with Walter Rizzo, their coach, and he said that they had put a priority on improving the speed and flow across the ice from the Junior Grand Prix into this final. I saw it. How about you?
Indisputably, and I was referencing the speed of the Ukrainian team during their Paso Doble. Noemi Maria Tali and Noah Lafornara from Italy came out and absolutely blew that apart. The pattern size of those required steps from this team outshining in terms of ice coverage all of the others that we've seen, and that is so heavily weighted in the judges' opinion of the quality of any team. And this team, coming into this event, 3 of the other teams that they're up against here were above them last season at Junior Worlds, as Denis Pechigov and Walter Rizzo greet them off the ice. But the work that Noemi and Noah and their teams have done in the off-season has just now not just put them above the teams from 3rd, 4th, and 5th at last year's Junior Worlds, but I think this is going to give them a comfortable lead.
If you know what you need to work on to close the gap between who's in front of you and you focus on that, that type of change can happen. And we've seen that with this team, and we'll see that in these scores.
And when we've spoken to them following their wins at the Junior Grand Prix, they have such a maturity of conversation. I mean, they speak so brilliantly in the interviews, and you can sense that diligence and mindfulness has then transcended into their conscientiousness for the training to make the progress that they've made. And there, the 1 foot rotation within the rotational left, a level feature. As you see the judges in the back of shot just assigning the grade of execution as
The quiet and shy Walter.
oh, he is unbelievable. Yeah. He's such a character, just brilliant. We won't repeat all that he was chatting to us about earlier.
No, no, for sure. 68.80 is their season's best. This was a strong performance, perhaps the most, I think, the most solid so far tonight by quite a bit, and confident.
Assured, and actually, again, we are seeing a reflection of what must be done in training. You've heard what was the approach in training. We're seeing the results of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at the rhythm dance scores for Noemi and Noah.
Walters.
He's pretty focused on that screen.
I think he'd have a word with the judges if it isn't anything like he wanted.
Really quiet.
Yeah. How do you shut Walter up?
Yeah, there it is. 68.66. Wow. That's a great score. Not their season's best, but darn close as they take the lead.
What's significant is not just the score, but the differentiation they've got above the others.
Yeah. You can absolutely see the quality there as we take a look at the final standings after the rhythm dance. Noemi and Noah, 68.66. Katarina and Dimitry, 65.57. And Darya and Michail at 64.84. Your top three in the junior rhythm dance. Wow.
And interesting that we've seen in the other disciplines that have competed already today some real consistency and clean skates. The ice dance competition, you sense the tension as the dancers all vie to take top spot.
And it also goes, and we talked about this, that ice dance may look nice, but it is difficult, way beyond what the naked eye can see.
Yes,
It
absolutely.
really is hard and challenging to be at that top level with every edge and every step and the speed and the flow and the lifts and make it look seamless. It's extremely complicated as we take a look at the top three.
And Darya Grimm and Michail Savitskiy benefiting from a new rhythm dance choreography from their coach Matteo Zani, and that helping them to move into the bronze medal position after the rhythm dance. And that the position that they finished in 12 months ago in Beijing.
And they were thrilled with that dance. And there's a look at Katarina Wolfkostin and Dimitry Tsarevski. And they skated early on in this competition, and they're holding down second spot.
And interesting because it seemed like a little bit of a tight skate for this team. So if a tight skate for them finds them in second place, that just does give us a real indication of their quality. But the win goes to Noemi, Maria Tali, and Noah Lafornara, unbeaten on the junior ranks this season. And they showcasing even here as we look through their paso doble, a speed, a flow and a glide that gave them the highest of the skating skills from all the 6 teams competing in Grenoble today. And they take the lead with 3 points.
Well, that concludes the coverage of the junior rhythm dance. The junior events will commence tomorrow at 16:15 with the junior men's short program, followed by the women's free program. Up next will be the senior pairs short program starting at 19:55 local time. We hope you'll join us.
avez besoin de vous